Twitter is now letting you post full videos up to an hour or so. I was looking at Tucker Carlson's. He posted his first episode, I think yesterday or the day before. It got 105 million views on it. And
Wow.
so we're going to talk about the optimal way to post to social daily. So let me tell you what I mean by this, and then we can go into it. So the social media landscape is changing quite a bit. Even the way to get reach in general, that's changing. And we want to talk about the optimal way we think what we think is the optimal way to go about posting. And this is more of a do as we say, not as we do type of thing, because I will be the first to admit, and Neil, you can speak for yourself, that I don't think my social game is where I'd like it to be. I know what we need to do, but it's not necessarily where it is. How about you, Neil?
Yeah, my social game is definitely not where it needs to be. We need to improve it drastically. For us, I just don't spend enough time on social because majority of my revenue does not come from social. And I've run the numbers, even if my social platforms were 10 times larger, because that's the numbers we really look for. We're like, all right, what do we think we can get it to? And we thought we can get it, or we think we can get it to 10 times more in popularity. We still see at those numbers, it's just not driving the revenue that some of the other channels would for us.
Yeah. So what I would say is this: the world's slowly evolving, or rapidly, depending on how you look at it. If I were to say 10 years ago, oh, you're going to get more reach on LinkedIn and Twitter versus a blog post, I would have said, no, I'd rather invest in blogging because it compounds longer over time. But now I just find, I don't know about you, Neil, but human writers, I was looking at the numbers, and human writers for our blogs, some of these posts that are really long form, they aren't getting any traffic at all. And I'm like, what are we even spending on here? Versus if I just throw up a tweet, or even I just throw up a video that is repurposed from this podcast, I throw it up on Twitter, it's going to get at least a couple hundred, if not a couple thousand views on it, if not more than that. Same thing with Twitter, right? And so the way I look at it is, let's just focus on Twitter first. Twitter is now letting you post full videos up to an hour or so. And I don't know if you saw this, but I was looking at Tucker Carlson's, the guy that was recently let go by Fox. He posted his first episode, I think yesterday or the day before. It got 105 million views on it. And
wow,
the reach is crazy on this stuff. And I think not optimizing it, and again, this is do as we say, not as we do, is a mistake. So what I would do is I would take the podcast that we're doing, I would post every episode onto LinkedIn, I would post it onto Twitter, okay? And I would make a separate marketing school pod Twitter. I'll make a separate marketing school pod LinkedIn. Just post there. Neil and I would be retweeting those. And that's how we just grow these, right? Just that's like table stakes. We already have a YouTube channel that we're slowly growing, but that's how I'd play the game with our social. Just trying to go as omni-channel as much as I can and trying to repurpose as much as I can.
What tools do you use to make your posting easy?
I've taken the Kool-Aid from like a Gary Vee, where I prefer to post natively. And so, yeah, there's that. But the tools, we have Sprout Social. That's what we use.
Yeah, we use the same too, but I'm very similar to you. For some weird reason, we've done a lot of tests on this, and it changes over time depending on the social network. But generally speaking, if you post natively, you don't get less traffic than if you use the tool. But there's some instances and cases, depending on the network you're talking about, where you post natively without a tool, you actually get more reach, more traffic to your post or video. It's just better. And when it's better, it's not more convenient for you and I. It's just better from the fact that you spent all this time creating content. You want the ideal amount of reach. And the last thing you want is your reach to go down because of a tool. Yeah. And it's not that the tools are hurting, or it's not that the tools are doing anything wrong. It's just the way the algorithms are built with some of these social platforms.
I just think if I were starting from scratch today, I'd be trying to repurpose as much as I can. If my pillar piece of content is this podcast, so the pillar would be the very, let's say it's the foundational piece, then I'd be repurposing it to shorts, to reels and all that, maybe some clips on YouTube. And I would be trying to repurpose perhaps, I don't know if I told you this, Neil, but the AI content that we're doing repurposed from this blog post, or sorry, this podcast, it's actually gaining more traffic than the human writers. And it's beating out the human writers and easily beating them out too. I would do a lot of that. And I don't know if who's doing a good job of this right now. The Hormozis are doing a good job. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and Alex was just saying how they make $1.5 million a year from like AdSense or something like that. But their content expenses annually are about 1.5 million as well. That's what it might take. And that's the optimal way to do it. The optimal way is like Team Gary Vee, where he has 50 to 60 people on his Team Gary Vee team. and they just chop up a lot of content and they move very quickly and they post produce a lot of stuff. So your mileage may vary. I'll just take a look at what they do, and then you can slowly optimize towards it. Anything else, Neil?
Dude, on a random note, did I ever tell you that I was in Canada for an event? I think it was Web Summit. I not actually think, I know for a fact it was Web Summit Toronto 2022. And did I tell you my team experimented with someone following me around and recording and me answering people's questions and stuff like that for
No,
more
tell us the
social
story.
content? Yeah, so we ended up doing it. They've tried it at a few different conferences. I refused to do it. Hi, baby. How are you? I'm on the phone. Can I talk to you later? I'll come later, okay? So people ended up following, or a video person ended up following me around and a few others as well. I just hated it. I couldn't do it. I just felt like my personal
I was gonna say
space
that.
was
I can't
gone.
see that working for you as well. I can see you just being fucking irritated the whole time. Pardon my French.
Dude, I did not like it. And the person was trying to record and they were really nice and I felt so rude. And I told them in a really polite way, I'm like, look, this just isn't me. And your team paid me. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You can keep the money. I just don't want someone recording me as I talk. Like on stage, I don't mind. I just feel it's taking away my personal life and I like my privacy.
You know what's interesting? I tried this probably in 2016, 2017, and I hated it. Like we had a full-time videographer and I just
That's
converted it over to
right.
like, just spend like an hour or two with me. Let's just record on Thursdays. Don't follow me around. And I get worried about them getting run over by a car or whatever. I just don't do it. Like you walk in front of the car and like, walk backwards. I'm like, dude, like you're giving me anxiety.
Yeah, dude, you and I are on the same page. I just couldn't do it. It's not for me.
Yeah. Anyway, your mileage may vary. Some people love the stuff. I don't like even though I don't know if you're in the same boat, Neil. The reason I like speaking at events is because I like teaching. I love learning and then I love articulating my thoughts and teaching, just like how we're doing on this podcast. What I don't like is having a bunch of attention on me. And that's why I don't care
Yes.
for a big birthday party or whatever.
Dude, I hate birthdays. I won't do parties at all. I refuse to have anyone come for my birthday. I don't like dinners. But I'm also introverted from that aspect of life.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So that is it for today. Take this for what it will. Take this for what it is. Please don't forget to leave 5 stars for this pod. It helps us grow, and we'll see you tomorrow.